Hello experts. Hi, my name is Sean. I'm the trainer from Microsoft, and welcome to our first Expert Zone SG podcast. And I think you guys seen Deva as well. So I'm joined here by Deva, of course, the wonderful community manager. Deva, a few words.
Hi guys, community manager from Microsoft. So basically, you guys most likely would have seen me in stores and everything. So yes, here we are to tell you all the things you need to know, and you can ask us questions later on.
If they never see you in stores, that means there is something wrong.
No, that means they're in earnest stores.
So, as I shared earlier, guys, welcome. This is our first podcast that we actually want to do, we've shared this many times now. We have many different social media channels now, and the one that we're going to share this on will be YouTube. So please like, subscribe all onto our channels like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And without further ado, sounds cheesy, right? Without further ado, let's talk about what we want to talk about in this first ever podcast. And that is actually with regards to the new products that we recently launched, which is, drumroll please, Deva, what are the new products? Okay, of course, we recently announced the Surface Laptop Go and the Surface Pro X. So these are some quite exciting devices that we have on offer that adds to the Surface family of devices, right? Are you excited about any one of them?
For me, I'm more excited about the Pro X actually. So I want to see how different it's going to be. Because I love using the Pro X.
Pro X is the device that you use quite often, I would say, right?
Correct. So that's the one I'm using right now everywhere when I'm going to work and all the stuff. So I'm hoping to see how the Pro X SQ2 benefits from the current one I have right now.
So I think that's a great thing. So,
sorry.
No, go on.
But that being said, right, I'm very excited to actually see the new form factor of the Laptop Go. Something smaller, cuter, Very excited to see how it looks.
I think it's going to be a very exciting addition to the Surface family of devices. And, as much as I want to talk all about the Surface Laptop Go, right, today actually our focus will be a bit more on the Surface Pro X. So, and I always feel that one of the best places to actually learn more about products actually through our website. So before we actually start to talk about Pro X and the features and the benefits and what's so new about the Neo, so I think Deva, you already touched a bit on the fact that there's this thing called the SQ2 processor.
Right.
So let's get the elephant, or let's talk about the elephant in the room first. The SQ
what is this
processor.
SQ2?
Yeah, exactly. What's something you've heard about the SQ processor for the Pro X?
For me, I honestly haven't really heard much. The only thi I've heard, right, is
the previous SQ, the SQ1.
Yeah, the previous SQ1 versus this one. The ones I'm hearing is that the SQ1 is considered like a i5 variant, while the SQ2 is like an i7 variant. So that's what I guess that's what everyone's curious about. What exactly does this SQ2 do?
Yeah, so I think before we even address those concerns, SQ2, I think we just want to go back to the basics and just reintroduce people to the Pro X, and also talk a bit about SQ1, it being because I think you yourself definitely read a lot of things online, right? I mean, we won't sugarcoat things, and there's some people who have been pretty disappointed with the SQ1 and the ARM processor, and it's quite interesting because on one hand you have people who are upset, like I say, they feel that this device is not for them. But on the other hand, right, there are a lot of people who actually use the device and they actually find that they love the device.
Right.
They find that it does whatever they want very, very well. In fact, I think one of those people actually you. I know we sound very biased here, but actually you are one of those that really love the Pro X. Okay, so
I mean, I won't consider that bias though, because honestly speaking, because most of the time when we buy a laptop, right, we want everything, but it doesn't mean we're going to use everything. So like when it comes to like the Pro X and the Pro 7, that's what they're always comparing about. Like Pro 7 is an Intel processor, while Pro X is ARM processor. So for me personally, when I'm using the Pro X, I don't feel anything that I'm losing out on. I can do everything that I need for my daily work basis on the Pro X. It's not like I need the Pro 7 for any special needs. Of course, it's like certain applications, but for my kind of level, like I'm community manager for Microsoft, right? For a person like me who does my job scope, I feel the Pro X is already fantastic. Plus, it looks way sleeker.
That's a very good point. So, like I said, let's just go through the website again. So, what are the key things that we always shout about the Pro X is actually written right here in the tagline for this device. It's ultra thin and always connected. The Surface Pro is actually one of the thinnest Surface devices we have, which is about 7.3 mm, right? If I'm not mistaken. Too many numbers sometimes, I forget myself. So, just a
7.3,
quick
yes.
yeah, 7.3. Just a quick overview. It's already here already. So, the things that we want customers to see first and enjoy from the Pro XR is what you see here. You're gonna get super fast, consistent LTE. So a lot of people keep asking about, hey, can I have a surface that's LTE and so on and so forth. And we didn't really have like a very high end product that had LTE that was readily available on the market. So of course the Pro X was supposed to bridge that gap. And another thing that we emphasize a lot about Pro X is that it's very long battery life. I'm sure you pretty much agree with this statement, right? That
100%. The battery life is fantastic. This is like the longest lasting device I have as of now.
And it's even better because you carry the device around sometimes. It's not a store, you got no charger, right? And then
Yeah,
it can really
I don't
last
need
you
to
quite
shut
a while.
down. I don't need to shut down. I don't
Actually,
need
that's
to
a
charge.
funny thing. Actually, that's an interesting thing. Just very quickly, I also have a Pro X, right? I don't use it as much. I mean, I don't use it as much as you because most of the time I'm working from home. Okay, working from home, by the way, it's not really. It sounds a lot nicer than it actually is, But anyway, so I work from home. I use my Book 3 more. I do have a Pro X, and then honestly, right, I use once in a while, and then I don't really shut down. I just like turn it off, right?
See?
But the standby
See?
time is really amazing. Okay, but anyway, so that's about battery, and then another very important thing about the Pro X I feel is right off the bat when you look at it, right, it's really modern looking because of the very narrow bezels. So something that we again emphasize a lot is that it has a similar sized body to the Pro 7, which is about 12.3 inches. Yet, Microsoft managed to fit a larger 13-inch display here. It's because of the thin bezel. So again, gives that like a very modern device look.
I personally am biased towards this. I think it's a beautiful device. I think it's the best looking Surface device as of now.
I know I'm going to use the B word here, so I'm not going to be biased also, but I think it's still one of the nicest Windows device in general, full stop. I mean, of its class lah. Maybe I specify a bit of its class. Like a 2-in-1 tablet form factor. It's really unique. I really like it. When I don't know where I shared this before, but the first time I saw the Pro X, right, I was like, wow, this thing looks, it looks so familiar yet so different. I've used that phrase many times by itself. Like, it looks
That's
so
when you were in the
similar.
States, right? I think when
Yes,
you came back
yes.
from the States, you told us straight away, like, of all the devices,
Yeah.
when you saw the Pro X, you're like, whoa, blown away, completely different
Yeah,
looking.
exactly. So
Yet so
they showed
familiar.
us a few devices. They showed us a few devices, and the moment I saw that, I was like, wow, this is my next go-to device. Okay, and the last point here when talk about the extreme right hand side here is that again it's very thin, and it is very lightweight at just 774 grams. So I mean, if you really think about it, right, if you combine all these four different key areas together, right, it's very obvious that what the Pro X is designed for, right? No, it's and what is that? Maybe you want to enlighten us there, bro.
I think it's made just for me. Just for
It's
me.
just for you because why you travel a lot,
Right.
you're always on the go, and all this. If you think about it, having LTE connection, so you don't need Wi-Fi, have a long battery life, a device that's very thin and light, yet have a large display. It really adds to that value and the aspect that the Pro X is the perfect go-to device when you're traveling out and about. So
Right.
and yeah, people like Deva.
And one of the things I realized a lot of people like to think of, right, when we put all these things together, they like to compare this to a tablet of other brands and stuff. But the thing is that
Other
a
brands,
lot of
very
people,
nice.
yeah, a lot of people are mistaking this for a tablet. This is a laptop, a full laptop that looks like a tablet, feels like a tablet, weighs like a tablet, but does not run like a tablet. It runs like a full Windows PC. So I think
Exactly.
that's the amazing thing about this Pro X, especially.
And now we move on to the next part, which is of course right here you see the emphasis on the always connected. I think like we shared earlier on about you it's not just about the hassle of or lessening the hassle of having to find Wi-Fi hotspots, right? But even sometimes when you find Wi-Fi hotspots and you want to do work, now you don't really trust like public Wi-Fi, right?
Correct.
I know people watch too much movies and then you connect to some public Wi-Fi and then like Jason Bond or James Bond can hack into your device. But I think sometimes there's a bit of real life scenario there, which is it's a fact like public Wi-Fi is not safe. So why I want to
Especially now when everyone's online, everyone's doing
Exactly.
everything online.
Exactly. So, okay, we talk so much, I mean, it hasn't been very long into this podcast, right? But we already talked a bit about the positives, and so now, why then let's address, why then people don't go out and fully buy this device. Okay, and of course, one of the main reasons, which is what we actually want to address today, as you
Mm-hmm.
see here, is processor. So I think it's a very, very quick background. I think it's something that Deva is very familiar with as well. So, when Microsoft introduced the Pro X, oh, sorry, maybe I paraphrase. Before Microsoft introduced Pro X, PC were dominated by Intel chips, right?
Intel, that's right.
You yourself does not mention i5, i7. So like whenever people buy a PC, they measure in performance by, I have an i3 processor, I have an i5 processor, or is it an i7? And then of course, with more recent times, I think AMD. We
Right.
brought in AMD with our laptop 3 as well, but still AMD is still very known for that PC performance and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then out of nowhere, suddenly we decided, hey, you know what? This is the Pro X. It comes with a Qualcomm processor. So even that, Qualcomm is everywhere, right? If you think about it, it's on all our smartphones. Almost every popular smartphone out there, especially those running Android, are running Qualcomm. So when it was announced that Windows was going to use, or Surface going to use Qualcomm, right? There was actually quite a negative response, and one
Very
of the
hesitant
biggest,
feel.
yeah, and one of the biggest issue, which is what we want to talk about now, is actually because Qualcomm processors are based off the ARM architecture, ARM.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Deva, maybe again you can help me again. What's wrong? What's wrong with ARM actually? Or what's wrong according to these people talk about this device?
Yeah, okay. So that, I guess that's the better phrasing. What's wrong according to these people? I guess ultimately when what you mentioned, right? There is Intel, there is AMD. So these are the big giants in the market right now. But when someone new like this comes in, there's always this hesitant feel like, is this going to be as good as the rest? Am I doing the right purchase? But at the same time, there's this thing that's been going around that ARM can only run 32-bit processing apps. So that's the thing that a lot of people are afraid of. They're afraid, like, what if I need a 64-bit application? I want to run this, I want to run that. It cannot work. So it's more of a fear where if there's certain applications I want, it won't be able to run on the ARM chip. So that's the fear people are having. But that fear is, I guess, in a certain way, is justified because it's a very new device. It's not something. The processing chip is a very new thing. It's not very known right now in the market.
It's about the known. The word is known. It's about this unknown. People are very hesitant to try something unknown, which is quite funny if you really think about it, right? When it comes to tech, sometimes people want to try something they've never
new.
tried before, right? And then suddenly when we launch this, of course, they are like, oh, this is too new for my taste. What if it doesn't apply to me, it doesn't work for me? So I think those are some really, really great points. And again, it is the whole conversation about the app. So just to refresh again, so ARM processors, like what Deva shared, they have this slight limitation in the sense that they cannot run full 64-bit applications. If you ask me to explain the technicality behind the differences between 64 and 32-bit, I won't even attempt lah.
Basically, the security kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so, security. But modern applications are designed with 64 bits. So
That's true.
with that in mind, so a lot of applications nowadays are predominantly 64-bit, and then the moment we come out and like, okay, we have ARM on Windows PC, but ARM for the moment, okay, doesn't support 64-bit yet. Okay, supports 32-bit applications, okay, through emulation, okay, unless the app is ARM designed. So maybe don't be too confusing in the sense that that they are, so apps in general, okay, they are designed with 32-bit or designed in 32 bits and 64 bits, right?
Wait,
So
can I just stop you there for a minute?
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
There's
Stop
one
me
thing
anytime.
there's one thing that a lot of consumers and retail pros, they're confused about. Okay, just because an application is 64-bit doesn't mean it's better than the 32-bit. It's
Exactly,
just a running label. It's not like you are using a Windows 10 over a Windows 8 or something like. It's nothing to do with that. The 64 and 32 actually runs the same. It's just there are certain components that makes it more secure and stuff like that. But in the personal you won't really feel a difference between 64 and 32.
So there are definitely some benefits to us being 64 bits. Okay, but like what you say, right? To be honest, most of the time when we use 32-bit 64-bit app, their day-to-day general use, maybe we won't really be able to tell so much of a difference, I guess.
Correct. You wouldn't be at all.
So again, to go back to the to what I was saying just now was that, so yeah, we have 32 and 64, and then because Qualcomm is emerging in the market, and then Qualcomm design apps, so they're ARM based. So most of the smartphones are using ARM based processors, so their apps are actually supported on this ARM based processors as well. So because of this recent introduction, so some apps start to be developed specifically for ARM.
Right,
So
that's true.
so again, not to be confused, so we have 32-bit apps, we have standard 32-bit apps, we have standard 64-bit apps, and then we slowly have ARM 32-bit and ARM 64. So applications that have ARM in like ARM supported, like ARM 64, they work perfectly fine in the Pro X. Okay, it's just that the standard 64-bit apps, those are the one that doesn't work, right? So again, a lot of customers, to simplify that whatever we are trying to say now, a lot of customers, they go to the stores and they go and read online and they're like, oh, this one cannot run 64-bit app, meaning some games I play cannot play, some Photoshop I have cannot use, means it's a lousy device, right? But is that really the case? Not?
I don't think so. It's because in that sense, right? There's only one word to say. This device maybe is not meant for you. You can get
Exactly.
the other device, but by no means this is a lousy device. I would never say this is a lousy device. I think it's just meant for a different kind of user scenario, user case.
So you're entirely spot on there with the whole idea about it's not really meant for this device. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot that I wanted to stop this sticker tape running at the bottom. It's gone. So anyway, so it's not, again, goes back to the fact that Microsoft Surface, right? We have so many Surface devices, and the idea for Microsoft is that the reason why we build many is that we want you as a consumer, based on your needs and your wants, to find the perfect fit for you. Like Cinderella finding her perfect shoe, right? I don't know whether it's an analogy, good analogy, but it's finding
Can
the right
we'll buy
fit.
it.
So again, just because this device may be lousy for you, because you're like, oh, I'm a gamer, so I cannot run my games here. Okay, that already proves to everyone is that, yeah, this device is not for you. If you really want to play games, or your main focus, your main app priority is, I do a lot of heavy Photoshop, I do a lot of gaming once in a while, then we have another device for you. Like, oh, sorry sir, the Pro X is not for you. Then something like the Book 3 maybe is for you, or to a certain extent maybe could even be the Laptop 3 15-inch, I would say. So it's, to me, it's always that mindset. Is how do we try to change that mindset from people? Is that just because it's not to your liking doesn't mean it's lousy. I think that's the biggest thing that we want to share.
I think that's the most important thing. Just because it's not up to your liking doesn't mean it's lousy. It's just not for you.
Exactly. And there's something that we want to address with the experts, whoever you guys are watching, or I know some of you are very supportive of the Pro X. At the same time, some of you are like, oh, Pro X cannot run this, so it's a lousy device. But again, we want everyone to sort of rethink, change the way you think about a product. The Pro X, like Deva's use case scenario. Deva, I think I speak for you when I say you are the kind of user who uses Outlook a lot on the go.
I do.
You open your PowerPoint, maybe you do a bit of word editing, refer to some tables in Excel. At the same time, you are surfing the net, and then once you're done, do you watch movies on your device?
Yeah, I do. It's so light, so easy. You just plug it out, then you put it in your bed.
So people with this kind of lifestyle would say, like, if you take a look here on this screen here now, if you live and work in the cloud, Surface Pro X is designed for you. So if you are the kind of person like Deva, in a sense, you are out and about a lot, the apps that you use are, I won't say basic apps, but they are the apps like, you just want Windows, okay, you want access to Outlook, at the same time all your office apps and the browser, right? Then this is your lifestyle. This is the kind of apps that you use on a day-to-day basis. Then the Pro X is really sort of the perfect fit for you. But on the other hand, if you come to the store, or customers come to the store and like, okay, I am a student, I use I need Windows 10. Okay, so Pro X check. I need email, check. I use Office, Pro X also check the boxes, and then they tell you that I need this specialized application. But when you go and check, of course, they don't have a 32-bit variant, so only 64-bit. So does it mean that, like, we should stop there? Like, oh, sorry, Pro X not for you lah. and then the customer be like, oh, Miss Pro is lousy, Miss Surface is lousy in general. So that shouldn't be the case, right? It should be us thinking of, or you as an expert should be thinking of how I can try to upsell an alternative device ultimately at the end of the day. And
I guess when you're saying that, right, it also makes a point because when you as a customer you go into a store, you're going there with a problem. You want a solution. You don't really have a perceived mindset on any device. You're just going there for solutions, right? So as the expert as you guys are, the most important thing, like what Sean said, right? You have a checklist in your mind, but as long as one of device doesn't check, you straight away can just mention another device. You can just tell them, oh, okay, for this device, maybe not the best. Maybe let me show you something else. In that sense, right, you're not going to give a negative opinion on the customer about a certain device. You're giving them a positive appearance on yourself that you can help them settle their problem by giving them, advising them on another device. So I think that would be a very good approach as well. Like to straight away, don't wait for the customer. Like even if the customer says he wants the Pro X, don't make it seem like it's a negative thing. More of like you tell them like, okay, yeah, if you really want the Pro X, can, but if there's a certain application you need, then maybe the Pro 7, if you want something like the same form factor, maybe the Pro 7 is a better option for you. In that sense, the customer will be like, oh yeah, that's true.
Perfect. And I think one more thing just to add to that as well is that if I feel that as an expert, as a retail expert on the floor, or even for myself, let's say I'm selling this device, and the customer comes to me and like, oh, share with me more about Pro X, and I share everything, and then the customer finds out that, oh, okay, ARM is not for me. So the customer be like, this is a lousy device and stuff. I feel that it's still my responsibility to highlight to them that what, sir, I do understand where you're coming from when you see the Pro X is a lousy device, but at the same time, I want you to see that it's lousy to you because it doesn't fit you again. So it's that whole narrative. It doesn't fit you. It's if someone else, for example, who leaves this again cloud-based sort of or needs this cloud-based solution, who wants LTE connectivity, wants to run applications that like Office, Teams, Outlook, right? Then this device is perfectly suited for them. So I think it's a very good point you highlighted. It's not just about trying to bring in another device that suits them, but I think it's also important to try to change the customer mindset also, and understanding that it's lousy to you, okay, but it does have its purpose. It does serve its purpose, and honestly, it does serve it very well for people who actually need this kind of device. And as much as we talk about this ARM support and stuff, I know it frustrates a lot of people, but there is a silver lining coming out of this. Okay, very very soon, in fact. So this is a very good opportunity to actually potentially even upsell to the Pro X to a customer who is sort of on the fence. So yes, we talk about ARM in terms of very limited. Not okay. Maybe paraphrase again. I shouldn't say very limited lah. Maybe later, we emphasize some of the apps that actually work other than Office and stuff. But if a customer's on the fence, Microsoft is actually going to introduce 64-bit emulation very soon. So if you're a Windows Insider, actually Microsoft's already announced this. So for those Windows Insider, people who want the latest and greatest, but software, but still in its beta phase, I would say. Okay, they can sign up for Insider, and Insider next month, if I'm not mistaken, November. Okay, these Insider people with the Pro X, right, they actually will get an updated version of Windows that will allow for certain 64-bit applications to run. So Microsoft opening this up in the beta phase to do all the testing. So what this also means is that potentially in the future, I don't know when, I legit don't know when yet, but potentially sometime in the future, right, Microsoft is going to make this sort of a mass update for everyone. So there is a silver lining, I would say. So don't feel that the processor now SQ1 is going to be lousy forever. I'm not going to run this app forever, but it's Microsoft
just
is
a matter
working.
of time.
Exactly, just a matter of time. And I think even if you again, if you don't feel like this device for you, then move on to another device. Okay, and just to narrow down a bit more on this ARM SQ1 processor. So I think something that we mentioned earlier on is that there's actually a refresh. So Microsoft has introduced a new refresh of the Surface Pro X, which is actually available for pre-order. If you go up here, I think later I go configure now, you can see. So previously we called it the SQ1.
Right.
I think we should have mentioned this at the start. Why it's called SQ1 is it's a collaboration between Microsoft and Qualcomm.
So Surface and Qualcomm.
Exactly. So there's a new processor SQ2 which is out on not out for pre-order. Sorry for my background. Out for pre-order for selected SKUs. So
Right.
the SQ2 is supposed to offer an experience for those who want something slightly faster, I would say. According to
Mm-hmm.
Qualcomm, we don't have the exact numbers yet, but according to Qualcomm, it's actually their fastest ever PC-based processor that they've ever created. So I think people who love the Pro X, but they just feel that they want that a bit extra in terms of performance. Then the SQ2 is the one that is definitely for them. I know Deborah mentioned earlier on, that some people online say you compare SQ1, SQ2 like i5 versus i7, but take that with a grain of salt. Because
Mm-hmm.
those are not official comms from Microsoft or even Qualcomm. Those are what some people are speaking online, but again, we don't really have the numbers in terms of how much faster and stuff, but Qualcomm directly has said that it is the fastest they have created. So again, in that sense that it's if you want something that is a bit more powerful than the SQ1, then that's what I'm trying to go to. I'm sorry if I'm beating on the push lah, but yeah, if you want something that's slightly different, slightly a bit more powerful, right, SQ2 is for you. Okay, but don't see it as just because we have launched the SQ2 processor, the SQ1 is outdated. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I would think the SQ1 is still a very, very relevant processor. It's not even a year,
Yeah, a
right?
couple of
It's not
months only.
even
It's just that because of the
exactly.
whole Corona period that makes it seem like so long.
So let's go. If just go real quick and configure now, right? You understand what I'm referring to. So here, if you're going for the high end variant, so previously we had the SQ1 variant, but now, okay, SQ2 here you see a 16 gigs with 256 GB of storage. Okay, or you have 512 if you need a bit of memory. And something very interesting, which we did not touch on about. Okay, I personally like the black a lot. Okay, I felt that it was different from the platinum that we always come up with for Surface devices. But actually, in fact, now it's an online only exclusive promotion. Not promotion, it's online only in that sense. But Pro X is
Exclusive,
not
yeah.
available in platinum. So if you want the SQ2 variant, especially, right, you actually can choose it in platinum. So it's a new option for people who
Mm-hmm.
want something that's slightly different. Okay,
You
but
want to
of
be
course,
unique, you can get that.
of course, if you want your traditional black, I personally, I don't know about you. Personally, I think black is the way to go.
Black
Okay, I think
screen.
black looks really, really sexy if you ask me. I don't know whether sexy is the right word to use, but yeah, I really like the
Can
black
lah,
lah.
can lah.
Okay, and actually quite interesting thing is that if you feel that you try the device, you see that it's fine enough for you based on how it is the SQ1, right? Take a look here, we actually have an amazing promo. So because of the imminent launch of SQ2, right? If you buy the
Mm-hmm.
SQ1 16GB 512, it's actually only 1941. Wow,
Oh, wow. That's
it's
actually
actually
very cheap
quite
right now.
it's quite
Oh,
cheap.
that's
Of
a
course,
huge jump.
exactly.
Like
So I
$500
know
discount.
again we are not here this, or maybe we just I just clarify again, this podcast, right, is supposed to be, we try not to be so biased towards Microsoft and stuff. It's very unfiltered in a sense. In fact, we are totally unscripted on this, right?
Yeah, no script.
I think some people can tell watching that we
We
are unscripted.
we completely just planned this out. I mean, he told me yesterday, let's do a thing today. Let's do a podcast today, and ta-da!
Yeah, so we also understand some of the concerns some people may bring lah. So anyway, so as much as we do have this new SQ2 that is up for pre-order, but if you feel that it's not something that you can afford, for example, I would highly suggest you to even consider something. I
To
just
go for
noticed
that.
something, by the way. I just noticed something.
Yeah.
So you take a look at the 8GB 256GB.
Oh, it's the
It's
same
actually
price. Oh,
it's
it's close.
1928.
Right.
So actually, if you think about it, you top up $14, $13, $13. You just top up
So in
$13,
case,
right?
yeah, in case you're looking for this, just double check every time you go inside. Don't just click on the 8GB just because you want the 8GB. Sometimes you might get a 16GB for the same price,
Mm.
or a bit more.
And then if you even better, take a look at this. I just realized that you shouldn't even count the 8GB 256 lah. You just take a look at 16GB 256 size, even cheaper than the 8GB.
As long as there's a banner, lah, just say save anything.
So it's safe. So yeah, so you can actually enjoy a lot of savings now. And I think one more thing that I just wanted to show you on this screen is we're actually very excited to finally share as well that we do have new colors for the Pro
Colors.
X keyboards. Previously, you're limited to black. Black is nice, of course, but then you want a bit more flavor, a bit more
More flair. You want
a
to
bit
show
more
yourself
flair.
out.
That's the right word. For a moment, I was stuck. Couldn't think of the word. I tip of my tongue. But if you want a bit more flair, right? I personally like the poppy actually. It
No, I like the
pair with
poppy.
the
Poppy is very
yeah,
cool.
Compared with the black, honestly, it looks
I
really,
mean,
really
just
good.
see like you walking around with a small, slim laptop tablet, red color, poppy red. You're like, whoa,
It's quite cool,
whoa.
right? So, I think we've spoken a lot. I think initially this podcast will be out 10, 15 minutes, but I think that's a great thing about having an unscripted script, right? Our podcast can even go potentially even up to 1 hour in the future.
Mhm.
But yeah, just to summarize, the things that we've been talking about in case you missed it or you fell asleep halfway. We wanted to readdress the Pro X. Now, what makes the Pro X so special in terms of hardware, external
Mhm.
hardware? I feel that you're gonna get like there's no reason to hate it in a very simple way. You just look at it, it's so thin, it's so light, it's really, really nice. It's really a very good device for almost anyone.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we also wanted to address the SQ1. So, a lot of people talk online, a lot of reviewers are like, I tried this device, it doesn't work, it's not for me. Again, like what we shared, what Deva mentioned earlier, right? That's the keyword. It's not for you. Okay, it's designed for other needs, other type of people in mind. So, who are these people? Just very quickly before we go off, it could be students, right?
Mhm.
Students, quite a big group, I would say. What do you study in school, whatever?
I did biomedical science.
Do you need to run any specific applications or whatever on your PC?
Um, for me, when I was in school, yes, we had a few applications that we had to run to
Okay.
like all the molecules and everything. But
Okay.
I honestly think it would have been because the last time I went to school for that was many, many years ago. So I'm pretty sure right now that could be run on the Pro X as well. But who knows, right?
Me on the other hand, I did psychology.
Wow,
Psychology,
you can read
we got
minds.
nah. I'm not like Superman or Batman behind you. Superman can read minds. By the way, throughout the whole presentation, throughout this whole podcast, like Superman and Batman just like peering
Staring at
through.
you, the
Yeah,
Aquaman in the middle.
exactly. Clearly, this guy is. Is this your room, by the way?
No, definitely not lah. This is my brother's
Okay.
room. That's why it's cooler.
Okay.
I'm a Marvel guy.
Okay. So anyway, I was saying in school, I did psychology. So psychology students are honestly psychology students, honestly, we don't really need so much specialized software and stuff. So Pro X, right, would have been perfect for me, really. So psychology students out there, no wait, if you're, I don't know lah, if you psychology student, you come across our podcast, good for you. Okay, but students like this who just want a device, or again like myself in school, I just needed a device to run office, to I don't even need email. Okay, I just needed a web browser. I just wanted to watch movie once in a while. Pro X was really something I wish I had in school. I carry device everywhere, perfect for me. Okay, students, again, professionals, even professionals. So there's some group of professionals who, depending on what kind of job they are doing, again, their day-to-day life is doing office ads, replying emails, just need a PC to do this kind of work. At the same time, once they're done, kick back, relax, enjoy the screen, watch Netflix, Spotify, and Pro X is device for them as well. Uh, yeah. Any other
The
thing,
most
Deva?
important thing would be the fact that carrying the Pro X is the amount of convenience you have.
Mm,
It's so slim, so small. You can slide it into any bag. You want to use it with the keyboard, without the keyboard. It's just so versatile. You can use it for any way. So I think the biggest buying factor of the Pro X is that it is so convenient.
mm-hmm. And
Anyone can use it.
it's great that you mentioned the versatility, because we assume everybody know what it's like, but in case you don't, again, you have the kickstand, that gives
Oh,
you
that's
that.
a platinum color. Nice.
Yeah, it's a platinum color. So have you changed your mind?
Ah, no, black still.
Still black, right? So it is that versatility, you want to use it touch screen like this in this sort of angled form you have. Okay, you want to lower it down. We never mentioned the pen, but of course you do have the pen as well. Whether you want to use OneNote, I know I did mention Photoshop just now, but full Photoshop, maybe if you want to run full Photoshop, then this is not the device for you. But if you're going to run basic level Photoshop, basic photo editing apps, right? Actually, all these apps can actually run on the Pro XR, and then you can even do it at this angle with a pen and edit on as and when you like. Same thing here. Okay, this is just showing you some of the ports, of course, and I'm trying to find a picture without the keyboard, like used in a hand. But let me see.
That's not the first one. The lady
The
was
first
walking
one.
around without.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah. I
Yeah.
think I missed it. Okay lah, but I think you guys get my point. If always something like this, so take out the keyboard. You just want to chill, like lean back, enjoy your show, whatever, you do have that option as well. So again, very good thing Deva mentioned, the versatility. So anything else you want to add, Deva?
I think the only thing I should add more is please buy this. It's a fantastic device.
Please buy, in the sense that if you find, or you as an expert, if you find a customer that like he's how do I put this, he's I can't seem to find the word, his mold fits this
Mhm.
perfectly, and then of course upsell the device to the customer, and then if the customer don't like this device, right, of course we have many other surface devices out there as well. And so, to conclude, okay, our whole half an hour podcast here is just to remind everyone we do have this device. Okay, it is running this processor called ARM. Is it bad? No, it's
Nope.
not. Okay, it's designed specifically for certain people in mind. So it's very important to explore, I would say, explore the customer, understand them, ask questions, how you intend to use the device, and then try to fit then whether it's a Pro X or even our new laptop Go, which I think we will talk about in a different podcast. I personally have not been able to get my hands on the device, if you ask me. So it's
Mhm.
something that I'm looking forward to as well.
Pretty excited. I mean, I'm excited for all new devices, anyways.
Mhm. I again, somewhere biased here, but I really like all surface. It's like, if you are a student, a younger student, like maybe primary school, or parents, right, who want a device to share, you got Surface Go. And then you want something like what we just talked about, portable, with LTE connectivity, yet fast and efficient enough to run all your application. Amazing battery life, something that I just want to keep adding. The battery life is amazing here. You got a Pro X. And then of course you need something more mainstream, to run almost any apps you want without any issue. Then you got things like the Pro 7, you got your laptop trees. You want performance, you got the Pro 3 as well.
So
So,
there's one device for you. There's a device for every need, for sure.
correct. So again, I think that's it, Deva.
I think, I mean, throughout this, you definitely would have known everything. So I think it's very, very descriptive, I would assume, because this, like what you say, is unscripted. We are just saying,
Mm,
we're saying out all the concerns people have. I think, yeah, it's a wrap.
yeah. So again, those of you who stayed with us throughout this entire podcast, of course, thank you so much. Hope you learned a few things. And just before we go, just want to share again that we do want to share more content like this.
Mhm.
It's not just training, very very robot like, oh, this is the Pro X, that kind of thing. It's really sort of just us having a conversation about device. Of course, we will try to educate you in a positive manner so that you can help us sell. Okay, but of course, again, we just want to have this conversation about the Microsoft products and Office offerings, I would say. So right after the end of this video, you should see some of our channels that we will be posting there. So if you like this type of videos like this, of course, please like this video on YouTube. Okay, subscribe to us because we are definitely going to push more and more content like this. Okay, in fact, over the next few days, I think one of the things that we're going to push is a live streaming game session. So I'm probably gonna play certain games on Game Pass. So yes,
Xbox.
Xbox. Yes, Xbox will be another thing that we probably have a podcast about as well, closer to launch. So again, please like us, follow, subscribe, whatever it is, and you will
Like,
see the
follow,
pages
subscribe.
right at the end. And with that, thank you so much.
All right,
Thank you,
guys. So
Deva.
this is Deva, and
This is Sean. You can see our name here. Okay,
all
see you
right, bro.
guys in stores. Bye bye.